Here's the next problem, and it's asked you to solve it using elimination. So first thing I'm going to do is rewrite my problem lining up my x's and y's. So I get 8x minus 9y equals 8.5. And I could also get rid of my decimals if I wanted to, but since I'm dealing with like 0.5s, that's probably not a big deal. If I was dealing with like 0.1 or 0.3, calculations might get a little bit more difficult, but I don't mind dealing with decimals. Fractions, on the other hand, are a little more tricky. So we're just going to leave it, especially with the use of our calculator. All right, so now when I line up the x's and y's, I can see that probably the easiest thing to get rid of is going to be my x's. Why? Well, one's positive, one's negative, and then 8 is actually a multiple of -2 or of 2. So I can just multiply the second equation through by 4. All right, and what that's going to do is give me a -8 here, and then they'll go away. If I decided to eliminate y, I would have to multiply the top equation through by a number and the bottom equation. The least common multiple of 9 and 7 is 63, so I'd have to multiply the top equation through by 7 and the bottom equation through by 9. So that would require me multiplying both through. So since it's more work, I'll just pick x to eliminate and multiply that equation by 4. So I'm going to get minus 2x times 4 gets me minus 8x. Positive 7y times 4 is going to give me a plus 28y. All right. And then minus 4.5 times 4 is going to give me a positive 18. Or I'm sorry, a negative 18. All right, so now I've gotten my second equation rewritten, and now I'm just going to come down here and rewrite my first equation so that it's easier to deal with. Okay. All right. And now I can just add the two equations together in order to eliminate my x. Minus 8x plus 8x goes away. 28y, and this is actually negative 9y, okay, is going to give me a positive 19y, okay, and then a negative 18 plus 8.5 is going to give me a minus 9.5. Okay, and now to isolate my y, I'm going to divide both sides by 19. Okay, and now I get y equals a minus 9.5 over 19. If you use your calculator to reduce that, you will see that that is actually y is going to be equal minus 0.5 or a negative 1/2. All right. So now I have to pick an equation, any equation, to figure out what x is. Okay. So it doesn't really matter. I guess I'll just pick this one. All right. All right. Yeah. So we get 7 times a minus 0 minus 1/2 or minus a half minus 2x equals minus 4.5. Okay, so all I've done is I'm just plugging in this for y so that I can solve for x. All right, so 7 times a negative half is minus, yes, that is a minus, and yes, that is a 3, minus 3.5. All right, minus 2x equals minus 4.5. And now I'll just add 3.5 both sides. Right? I get minus 2x. It's going to be equal minus 1, right? Because minus 4.5 plus 3.5 gives me a negative 1. And now to isolate my x, I'm going to divide both sides by negative 2. And now in this case, I'm going to get x is equal to 1/2. Or if I want to be consistent, I can write that as a decimal as well. So it's going to be equal to 0.5. So my solution set, depending on how you want to write it, is 1/2, negative 1/2. Or if I want to write it as a decimal, depends on what my math lab asks for, it's going to be 0.5 minus 0.5. And if I wanted to, I could plug these in and check it to make sure they're the right answers.